What an absolutely insane game. The Cubs take it from the Dodgers 11-10 in 10 innings. We'll do some recapping of another crazy game at Wrigley. We'll talk about the non-Kyle Tucker player that at this point looks like he might get some MVP votes. And a Cubs reliever touched 100 miles per hour. In this economy, we got a lot to do today on the Cubs Daily Podcast. Let's go. In the 8th inning, I thought the story of the game was Kyle Tucker. Huge 2-run home run off Alex Vesia on a slider that was going to hit him, it seemed, for about 80% of that ball's flight. Vesia is a really tough AB for lefties. He's got like a wacky vertical fastball from his pretty high slot. There's basically no other comps for it in the league. And then the 9th inning, 2 outs, Miguel Amaya, home run off Tanner Scott. I mean, I'll be honest, I was going to mope about the Cubs not signing either Kirby Yates or Tanner Scott, who they were both in on. And then both of them coming into this game and mowing down the Cubs. But I can't do that now because Amaya takes a center cut fastball from Scott into the basket, playing some basketball there. Watching his face on the replay rounding first base was incredible. I encourage you to try to find that somewhere on a rewatch or replay of the game. He was willing it to go out, staring longingly at the ball, not even really running, just kind of stunned. And it did. And huge stuff from Porter Hodge in the 10th. Striking out Max Muncy on 3 consecutive sweepers in the exact same spot down in. Really impressive AB from him. Needed a strikeout there, and he got it. He was the player there over Presley to me for sure. And then Ian Happ walks it off on the first pitch of the bottom of the 10th, and the Cubs win a game that felt all but lost at various points. Ian Happ, too, big shout out. Just an incredibly productive game against good pitching throughout. Even though Dustin May off the top was a bit shaky, Happ led off an inning 5 times in this game and got on base in 4 of those instances. He's really becoming an underrated player, I think. Honestly, he's just becoming a very good player, but I think he's underrated relative to the context of the team now, where Kyle Tucker's kind of driving the ship and Suzuki gets all the RBIs, but Happ is just a metronome in terms of on-base production that's allowing those bigger bats to crush the ball and produce. There were a bunch of players I think you could give the player of the game to, so to speak, but I'm going to lead here with Pete Crow-Armstrong, and I'll start in the 5th inning. 2-run home run off Dustin May on a mid-middle 4-seam fastball, pushed the game to 7-4 at the time. Huge swing for the Cubs in terms of win probability, creating some buffer from the Dodgers in a game that was 5-4 prior to that swing. And I'll say, I don't think Pete hits that ball out last year. One of the most fundamental things about hitting is that damage occurs over the middle of the plate. It sounds really dumb even to say it because it's so obvious. But baseball is really a game of avoiding middle as a pitcher, and when that pitcher happens to miss over the middle of the plate, does the hitter actually convert on the damage? It's basically a waiting game for the majority of guys in baseball who can't slug and do damage all around the plate like a guy like Shohei Ohtani can. Last year, PCA slugged 525 on pitches middle of the plate, literally middle of the zone. The league slugged 600, so Pete was lower than the league average in terms of those pitches over the heart of the plate. And there are very few players that are above average hitters in Major League Baseball that don't slug better than league average over the heart of the zone. PCA this season is slugging 750 on those exact pitches, and that's not even counting the 2 extra base hits that he had entering today. That number's gonna push over 900. The second of those extra base hits was a double in the 1st inning on a sweeper down from Dustin May. And off Tanner Scott in the 9th, he just missed a home run that I think would have sent the crowd absolutely insane. Although there were many other points in this game where they went absolutely insane. Pete's been an absolutely electric player for the Cubs this season. His slug is now up above 500 with a 330 OBP. He's nearly 40% better than the Major League average hitter right now. And the list of names last season who were 140 WRC plus, which is what I'm going to use for the baseline of offensive talent, for a full season were Brent Rooker, Francisco Lindor, Freddie Freeman, Corey Seager, Bryce Harper. Very, very good hitters. And yeah, I'm not expecting PCA to hang around a 140 WRC plus all season. Even if he regresses back to like a 120, so 20% above the average hitter in Major League Baseball, he's still an all-star. And to pay off my guy Bruce Levine's preseason take, he might get some down ballot MVP votes. I'll say that again. He might get some down ballot MVP votes. It might be insane to think about, but he's accumulated about 1.3 WAR through this point of the season. He's projected for another 2.5 depending on which projection model you use, that's going to push you right into that 4-WAR window. And honestly, you could argue that that maybe is a bit light. Projections are taking a bit of what he did last year to some extent, baking that into what they believe he will be going forward. And as I tweeted out earlier this season, Pete's bat speed is up. He has the hardest hit ball of his career this season. He's a different hitter from a batted ball quality standpoint. Last season, Jackson Chourio, the Brewers, got an MVP vote with this 4-WAR season that we're basically projecting Pete to have, as measured by Fangraphs in terms of that wins above replacement calculation. Kyle Schwarber got multiple down ballot votes last year. PCA's right in line to have a similar amount of production and total value to a guy like Schwarber last season, although it is coming in a very different way. Obviously, Schwarber is a minus defender and Pete's a plus to potential Gold Glove defender. All relevant points. Maybe it's an overreaction, but I think it is a storyline to follow early this season, especially with how much Pete Crow-Armstrong has turned it on from an offensive standpoint. The next guy I want to bring up is Brad Keller, who touched 100 miles per hour today. I feel like I need some celebratory music here or some sound effect because it wasn't a cheap 100 either. This was a 99.6 that rounded up on the screen. It was a flat 100.0 miles per hour, the hardest pitch of his Major League Baseball career. In fact, the 5 hardest pitches of his career have all come in the last 8 days. This is a massive player development win for the Cubs. They pitched him on coming here to get his velocity up. It worked. He's throwing harder. He's having an impact and leverage moments on the Cubs this season. He's looked better than he ever has. I get it. He had 4 base runners in this game, 4 earned runs on his line tonight. Gage Workman had a pretty rough error at third base that could have been a double play, which would have gotten Keller out of the inning and cemented what Counsell was doing by using him in a leverage spot. After that error, the next pitch was a double by Freddie Freeman the opposite way that scored a few more and made it seem like the Cubs were out of it until obviously that offensive comeback late. One way to contextualize Keller's improvement year over year is to look at a stat known as Stuff Plus. It's a combination of shape, velocity, release. We're basically trying to look at what the pitcher's doing to the ball, look at how other balls that have moved similarly perform, and project that pitcher's performance as opposed to using maybe something more simple like just pure strikeout or walk rates along those lines. Last season, Keller was a 93, where 100 is league average, so he was a below average pitcher per this stat Stuff Plus. This season, he's up to a 105 above average. Not one of the biggest increases in baseball, but to get from a below average guy to an above average guy is a no doubt player development win. To do that in one offseason too is amazing, and the difference from a projection standpoint is considerable internally to the organization. And I want to say, Counsell had confidence in Keller in this one. Cubs up 2 top 6, Shota comes out, Keller comes in, he gets that out, and then Keller would pitch in the next inning in the 7th, which is where he wasn't as sharp, allowing some base runners off the top. But this was the bridge guy being used to get to Hodge and then Presley. We'll see if maybe Counsell in another universe would have used another guy late in that inning as opposed to Keller, and Keller was only responsible maybe for 2 or 3 outs. But he was trying to get to Hodge and Presley via Keller, which was something that he had not done otherwise this season. It's a testament, I think, to what they see internally with Brad Keller. And again, I'm in on Brad Keller. I get today was not good, but there are brighter days ahead. We'll quickly touch on Shota, not his best outing overall, but I think there were some positives. Tommy Edman just continues to torch the Cubs. I feel like every team has a few random players that become the arch nemesis of a fan base. With the Reds, I imagine it's Ian Happ because he's crushed them. Connor Joe has always been a guy that's beat up the Cubs, another random guy. Tommy Edman in the last calendar year has just been insufferable, is probably the correct word. He now has 15 home runs in his career off the Cubs. He doesn't have more than 7 of any other team. He has 14 in the last 2 seasons, and 7 of those are off of Cubs pitchers. It's just insane. He's only played 61 games and he has 7 home runs off the Cubs. It's hard to even conceptualize, honestly. Imanaga also got clipped on a fastball inside to Andy Pages, something he doesn't really do too much is pitch inside to right-handed hitters. Perhaps they had something from an advanced scouting standpoint on the velocity inside to Pages, but maybe Pages expected that because he blasted it out. In the 4th and 5th, Shota looked really good. He puts 2 on in the 4th and then goes strikeout, line out to get out of the inning. He started really backing off his fastball in this frame too, which is something that persisted through the next couple frames. He threw 22% four seam in the 4th inning, 17% in the fifth. He started the game 52% four seam in the first inning and 47% in the second inning. This gets at a larger concept, which I'll hit on another day, but just the idea of decay of a pitch. The more you throw it in an individual game and the more an individual hitter sees an offering, the better they will perform against it. Shota's final line, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. But enough of me. Let's hear from Craig Counsell on this insane game before we get out of here.
I mean, it's a fun team to watch play. I mean, that's what I tell you, is come out to the park and watch the team play, because it's, this homestand, they've done some amazing things and some resilient things, most importantly. You win games like that early in the season. It's a great kind of carry forward for the rest of the season. But we did a heck of a job against a very good baseball team. Just keep going. And we got some great performances late in the game. There's a lot of guys to list. I mean, Gavin Hollowell kind of sticks out for me. And just like, it's 2 innings and kind of we're trailing when it's going on, but those are 2 big innings. He had 2 great innings and gave us a shot to do that. He went out after we scored a couple and put up a 0 in the 9th. And it's performances like that give you a chance for the magic to happen. Well, we kind of got it everywhere tonight. And it just, last couple innings, just kind of big hit, big at bat after big at bat. So, I think we're offensively, we're playing good baseball. I mean, it's pressure. It feels like we left some runs out there tonight, but we also, we put 11 runs on the board. So that's good offense. And it's nice when you got a bunch of guys obviously contributing to that. I'm not sure. I mean, I know we are playing. We have played really. I mean, after tomorrow, we'll have played the Dodgers 7 times, the Diamondbacks 7 times, and the Padres 6 times. And that's, we know those are good baseball teams. And it should give you confidence, is what it do. It should give us confidence for the rest of the year. It doesn't. We haven't earned anything. We haven't, nothing's happened because of that, but it should give us confidence for the rest of the year.
Tomorrow, they're going to have to follow this game up because it was an incredible one, and I don't know how they're going to do that. But we have Matthew Boyd on the mound, who's been really good this season, versus a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Perhaps the Cubs will be favored in this game, which would be crazy. But it's my expectation because obviously the Cubs have the pitching advantage. It's a 6 p.m. start time, which is an odd one given the travel rules for a team going back to the West Coast and the Dodgers. So we'll get going early, which is always great. Our guy Andy Martinez also had some great work on MarqueeSportsNetwork.com recapping this game. I encourage you to check that out. Check out our app as well as YouTube. We'll have some more sound up and other instant reaction stuff if you missed parts of our postgame show with Cliff Floyd and Cole Wright. I will see you tomorrow. If you're listening, rate, review, subscribe, share with other people that want to hear me babble about the Cubs. Take care. As always, thank you for listening.